intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org. Hi, this is Nick, and for the next few minutes, I'll be reading from the day's newspaper comics on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. We begin, as always, on this Thursday, January 8th, 2026, with High and Lois. Chips outside in the snow. There are two snowflakes that are exactly alike. Prove it. I can't. They melted. As he was going to catch them. Blondie. We see a guy in a football uniform at Blondie's Bakery. Got any tasty sweets for the big games? Yes, Maya created some glorious game day goodies. We got gridiron gooey cake, blintzes, and championship cheesecake. What do you have in mind? You had me a gooey cake. Touchdown, says Maya. Zitz. Jeremy says, Well, look, I said that I would clean up my room, and I will. You don't need to remind me every 6 months. Beetle Bailey. Beetle's painting is some paint's getting out of the trash can. As Sarge goes, You are useless. Why are you always berating, insulting, and abusing me? Because you need encouragement, guidance, and nurturing. Hagar the Horrible. Hagar says to Luke, When I was your age, I had to share a bed with 4 brothers. Hagar sitting in his bed. You were lucky. If there's ever a monster under my bed, I'm on my own. Break of day. We see a couple cakes, then there's a slice of cake. There's a knife in the slice. As one cake says to the other, We'll keep them in our thoughts in layers. Because in the cake, being sliced up is dying. Anyway, Family Circus. Dolly says to Jeffy, she's stretching her leg, The knee is the elbow of the leg. True. Yeah, true. Barney Google and Stuffy Smith. Stuffy's in front of the judge as the sheriff goes, Thanks to my superior tracking skills, I had the varmint in custody in no time, Your Honor. Now, don't get too big on yourself there, Sheriff, says Snuffy. This time of year, everyone's an expert tracker, as we see outside, and in the snow, there's just footprints upon footprints upon footprints. You've been listening to a reading of the day's newspaper comics in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Thanks for listening.